Oh, okay. This gave me a hard time a while ago when I was trying to do this shit myself, but here we are.
What's up, YouTube?
Me, Matt, Killer Kyle here,
On
and
this Wednesday evening?
Wednesday evening, yes, sir. I will be away, so we won't do your regular Wheels of Fury episode, but WrestleMania is coming up.
Yeah, I was watching YouTube last night, and I ended up missing what I didn't watch NXT, but I saw the highlights of it.
Yeah.
And Stand and Deliver is next Saturday.
Oh yeah. So this Saturday coming up or next Saturday?
Next Saturday, not this Saturday. Next Saturday.
Right. Yeah, because that's also WrestleMania, which is approaching rather quickly, which is nice.
Yeah, we're fast tracking to WrestleMania.
So, actually, I just finished watching Raw.
Yeah.
And not quite understanding the whole thing with Paul Heyman and CM Punk and Roman Reigns and all this favor shit that's going around.
To me, it seems like what it is. I feel like Paul Heyman is the one that convinced CM Punk to come back to WWE in 2014. And because of that, or actually what I think it is, uh, Punk, Paul went to Punk for Punk to be the fifth for Survivor Series last year.
Yeah.
And Punk was like, I'll do this for you if you do something for me. And so the favor is basically Paul accompanied Punk to the ring for WrestleMania.
Yeah. Well, okay, so I mean, that's fine and good, but you look at this whole thing, and I mean, Paul Heyman's managed a lot of people over the decades, and it just seems like, okay, first he managed CM Punk from 2014 or 2012 to 2014.
Right.
Or 15, whichever.
Yeah.
And in the last couple of years, managed Roman Reigns. Like I said, everything Paul Heyman touches turns to gold because everyone he managed, although I'm not quite sure about WCW, was basically a champion.
Yeah, I mean, when Paul was in WCW, he managed the Samoan SWAT team.
Yes.
I don't know if they ever held tag titles. He managed, of course, The Undertaker's meeting Mark Callis.
Yes.
That was very short lived. Then, of course, there was the Dangerous Alliance.
Yep.
And I know Rick Rude was the WCW television champion.
Yes.
Stunning Steve. I don't remember if he held the TV title as well.
He held the TV title. He also held the US title.
Yeah, I think Steve held the US title when he was in the Dangerous Alliance.
And also, Rick Rude was the US champion, but I think that was shortly after.
Yeah.
So.
And I think that was the only titles that you could say Paul, that wrestlers held under Paul's guidance, if you will. Because, like, aside from Rude and Austin, I don't like okay, for those of you that may not know, didn't watch WCW, the Dangerous Alliance was starting Steve Austin, Rick Rude, Larry Zbyszko, Arn Anderson, and Bobby Eaton.
Right.
As I mentioned, Steve Austin and Rick Rude held the TV title, the US title. I don't think Larry and Arn held the tag titles, and I don't think Bobby held any titles with that grouping that I remember.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, there's that. There's also gonna be a fatal four-way for the Intercontinental title.
We're gonna have we got a three-way for the women's world title.
Yes.
Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair. We're gonna have a four-way for the IC title. Braun Breaker, Penta, Finn Balor, and Dom.
Yeah, and I mean, everyone keeps saying that Bianca Belair is going to turn heel. I mean, at this point, I think she's pissed off that Rhea inserted herself in the match.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be Io and Bianca because she was the Royal Rumble winner. So why Rhea inserted herself in, I don't know.
The writing is on the wall, my friend. When Bianca won the Rumble, who was the Women's World Champion?
Oh, Rhea Ripley.
Rhea Ripley.
Okay, yeah.
Io beat Rhea for the title. And it's like, okay, we're going to have Io versus Bianca for the title at Mania. I don't know why they didn't go with Bianca and Rhea, but whatever the fuck.
Right, yeah.
And it seemed like Rhea wasn't going to get a shot, like get a rematch for the Women's World title until either Io defended the title at Mania or if Bianca won the title at Mania and, Bianca or Rhea just was basically like, I'm not having any of it, and just inserted herself in the match.
Right.
And like the crazy thing about it is like with this whole thing with the three of them, it's mainly been it seems like it's mainly been about Bianca and Rhea.
Yes.
Io has kind of been like, Bianca and Rhea have been, back and forth verbally with each other over the last several weeks. And Io has showed them up a few times. Hell, during the contract signing, you got friggin' Io, or you got Bianca and Rhea, once again, beaking off at each other, war of words, if you will. Then you got friggin' Io drop kick Rhea into Bianca, and then she basically Io was the last one standing, so to speak.
Right.
One thing that I watched the ups and downs from Simon Miller for Monday Night Raw, and Adam Pearce introduced them all. Io, Bianca, Rhea. Well, apparently when Adam introduced Rhea, he's like representing the Judgment Day. Pearce.
I didn't catch that.
Rhea has been in the Judgment Day since WrestleMania last year.
Yeah.
Oopsie doodle. And then I seen on his Instagram page, he made he referenced it, made a joke like, oh man. And could you imagine being on live TV and make a mistake and confuse two names or whatever the fuck? He's like, oh, what? Oh, Repla fart. I'm kind of paraphrasing. He's like, oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Repla fart.
So there's a lot of good matches that are coming in on WrestleMania. I think this match is going to happen. Rey Mysterio versus Grande Americano.
El Grande Americano,
Mm.
CC. Yeah, I know.
Which is like, I believe, a nod to the Blue Blazer gimmick,
I guess.
if you want to call it that, because
Yeah.
Chad is not saying anything, and he is denying that he is the
El Grande Americano.
yeah. So
I think that this El Grande Americano is a creation character in. I'm not sure if it's 2K24 or like one of the video games,
oh
and then Chad Gable used that for for what he's doing right now. Like, well, him going to Mexico and learning luchador and whatever. It's like, okay, it was a great storyline with him. You have him dressed like,
yeah,
Ay, Dios mío.
ideas meal. You have him dressed up like a Nightwing, if you know, the old glory attire.
Yeah, you still got him in a singlet. It looks like the American flag, and then you got him wearing a mask with. It kind of looks like a cross between the Patriot and Psychosis or Psychosis.
Yeah.
He's got like the red, white, and blue, and it's got the horns.
I mean, I would say a Mr. America knockoff, but that was retarded. So
Yeah. Also, Mr. America is masked with blue with the A in the middle, but anyways.
yes,
Yeah. Watching the ups and downs by Simon Miller, he was like, how did that conversation go between American made Chad just down with them? Was like, all right, guys, look, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to go to Mexico. I'm going to say I'm going to learn the ways of Lucha Libre and, be able to beat Rey Mysterio. And when I come back, I'm going to be wearing a mask and I'm going to call myself El Grande Americano. And they're like, good job, boss. Good idea. Like, what?
yeah. Did you run that through HR? I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
and then you look at the thing last week with Charlotte and Tiffany, and
Yeah.
it was once again, and I don't know if it's because of Charlotte. It was another work shoot promo.
Yeah, you can say that.
I mean, they even let the word shit pass the censor. Like, that was cool, but still, it's like, I feel like Charlotte coming back was fine.
Yeah.
I just don't see it.
Yeah, not likely.
I didn't see it. And you guys, if you watched me for almost 20 years, holy fuck,
Yeah, almost 20 years.
you know that I'm not a fan of Charlotte Flair.
Yes.
I think when she debuted on NXT, I thought, okay, this is new. I mean, she's not Cop Ring or Daddy, so let's see where that goes. But I think once she went to Raw or SmackDown, I guess Vince was like, yeah, you're going to wear the robe and you're going to do the woo thing. And
You're going to do your own variation of, well, I think the figure 8 was her idea, probably, in NXT, because she used that as a submission in NXT, also the natural selection.
Yeah.
And then, when she went to the main roster, Vince is like, yeah, you're going to wear the robes, you're going to woo, and you're going to, do all this other stuff. I just want to throw this out there. Yes, she's been on YouTube for 20 years, or almost 20 years. And you're talking about, oh, you guys have been following me for this long. I don't like. So Flair Sherlin hasn't been in WWE for 20 years. She's only been in WWE for maybe 10.
Yeah, I know. I should have clarified that. Okay. But nonetheless, yeah. I tried to like her. I don't like her. I'm pretty sure she's a good person and person.
Yeah.
but I think once you shove a wrestler or any athlete down somebody's throat, then fans are just gonna screw it and we're not gonna like it and whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. So I was able to post the play-by-play for Dynasty.
Yeah, that was a shit show and a half.
Yep. But regardless,
I mean, we got to watch some of it, like, you know, some of the matches here and there sporadically, but it was giving us a hard time.
I really wish I would have did the conclusion to Rated RKO or Rated FTR and
Yeah, like, what the fuck was the point?
the other one.
Okay, two things. What the fuck was the point of having FTR turn on Cope? Like, okay, you want to make them heel. Whoop de fucking do. Secondly, the Young Bucks suck my left nut.
Yeah,
You have them leave, leave AEW for last few months. And it's like, oh, these are unsafe working conditions. We'll come back when there's better working conditions. And they were wrestled in Japan. They wrestled at Wrestle Kingdom and the show before Wrestle Kingdom. And I think they've mainly just been kind of like doing behind the scenes stuff, like stuff from whatever the fuck it is.
yeah.
And then they make their return on Sunday to screw Swerve out of the title. What?
Yeah. I mean, you can't just rebrand them as a babyface take team. Like, first of all, it would have been interesting to see them, by the way, Fat Chance, in WWE,
Yeah.
but to not only bring them back to All Elite Wrestling, but to have them be a heel take team still, like, what was the point? What was the point of them leaving and saying that we're done, we gotta go away for a while?
Yeah.
They're acting all boo-boo faced and kind of like a baby faced heel team or baby face team,
Yeah.
whichever, and it was all for nothing. So,
Like, are you trying to tell us that either A, Young Bucks have a vendetta against Swerve and they wanted to keep him from winning the world title, or B, they're the ones maybe like the orchestrators of the Death Riders or something like that?
yeah.
Like, Jesus, Murphy.
And as far as FTR, like, what are they trying to copy? What's that team name? Old Night? Like, yeah, play on words. The New Day. Anyways, yeah, like, we're gonna disagree with each other for weeks, and then all of a sudden, we're gonna turn on Adam Copeland after the match, and then, like, really, what the hell was the point?
Exactly.
So I don't get it, really. I just it sucks. And then the main event was a clusterfuck.
Yeah.
So that sucks.
Yeah.
Like,
I think I'm really starting to understand now why the people that have left AEW recently have left.
I just saw this now, and I think Soraya is due to re-debut, return. That was the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
As Paige in the pay-per-view they brought back of Evolution,
Evolution.
and that's cool.
Yeah.
And she did a whole thing about, yeah, I want to come back as Paige because Paige was a different part of me and
Yeah.
whatever. And Soraya's obviously her given name, so
Yeah.
I feel like that would be interesting to see, a mature version. Like,
Yeah.
CM Punk coming back to the WWE and basically having a new breath of life. And I think he finally saw the WWE wasn't all that bad. Well, after Vince left.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I think what I regret, though, is Saraya versus Mercedes Moné.
Yeah. I mean, they could have easily run that back and had a match between the two of them and actually had put that thing to bed to rest once and for all. I mean, I'm sure things between Mercedes and Saraya are fine.
Well, yeah.
Saraya or Mercedes didn't hold a grudge against Saraya, but could have worked that into had a feud between the two of them, worked that into the storyline, and had them have a match against each other, and then that be the end of it. And then if Saraya wanted to go back to WWE, fine and dandy, but
Yeah. Well, and I think that would have been cool. And yes, I know they've probably made amends. It's professional wrestling, and that's what's going to happen.
yeah,
Interesting, we talk about Paul Heyman watching the Stevie Richards show, and he had brought up December 2007,
right,
and yeah, how Paul was not happy, and basically it was, well, did he get fired or did he quit?
yeah,
If you took My Baby and you made it your own version and you took guys that weren't in the company in the 90s or whatever it was,
yeah,
and then you put your new brand of muscleheads before them, and yeah, I'd be pissed off too.
yeah,
I mean, it was nice, it was cool. And look, New York fans are brutal anyway,
exactly,
just like Toronto fans, just like probably Boston fans. I'm not sure
right, yeah,
how notorious they are, but yeah.
yeah. December to Dismember is a show that is, I would say, regarded as the worst pay-per-view of all time.
Yeah, I'll say. And that's unfortunate too, because again, old man Vince gets his hands on it and whatever. There's the whole thing of John Cena bringing the Ruthless Aggression pay-per-view sometime late next year or late this year.
Yeah,
And so we'll see how that goes.
yeah, exactly.
Ruthless Aggression. So
Yeah,
yeah, Stand and Deliver. That should be interesting.
yes, sir.
But yeah, this is flying by.
Yeah, you got that right.
So, anyways, yeah, I just thought I'd come on here and talk about a few things. Not quite. Oh, I guess we'll talk to you later.
Yeah,
Dear says.
later.